Today, we will be looking at wages and timekeeping practices and restrictions. So, let's start with exempt and non-exempt employees and who exactly is entitled to overtime pay. You must pay all of your non-exempt employees overtime, and that is 1.5 times their hourly rate for over 40 hours in one work week. Now, some states require overtime paid daily for any given number of hours worked, and that is typically anything beyond an 8-hour workday. Now, the safest way to categorize your employees is to categorize only general managers and above as exempt from overtime. Everyone else should be paid non-exempt from overtime. Basically, that means hourly. Now, remember, all industries are different, and who's exempt? Well, it'll vary from one business to the next. Worst case scenario, you have mistakenly miscategorized your shift manager as salaried or exempt, and you have failed to record any and all of the hours he has worked. You are liable for all of the hours your former manager says he worked.
That makes no sense. I know for a fact that I worked overtime.
My sincerest apologies.
I apologize. Thank you.
Timekeeping is another important issue that we must keep in mind. Employers must keep strict records of all non-exempt employee work hours. Employees must clock in and clock out at the beginning and the end of every shift. Employees must clock in and clock out for unpaid meal breaks. And finally, you must record the use of employee-paid short breaks as required by your state law. Just as it is important that your employees do not take advantage of not working while on the clock, it is equally important that your employees do not work while off the clock. Well, you clocked out hours ago, didn't you? What are you still doing here?
I just wanted to.
Well, we certainly appreciate your dedication, but there are very serious legal implications for employees working off the clock.
Okay.
No working off the clock, ever. Not even for the tiniest minute tasks. Now, I know this may seem harsh, but we have to have a policy in place that prohibits working off the clock, and we must enforce those policies strictly. Oh, well, here's an important memo. How long do we keep time records? And finally, let's talk about salary deductions. There are no salary deductions from an employee's pay. If employees are able to purchase pants and non-slip safety shoes from multiple sources, the employee need not purchase pants and shoes for the employee. There are no salary deductions from an employee's pay for uniform shirts. Employees can purchase their own pants and shoes, but it is the employer's responsibility to purchase the uniform shirts. And never, ever deduct cash drawer shortages from an employee's pay. This is a discipline issue, not a pay issue. What are the issues with these salary deductions? Allow me to explain. First, employees cannot go below minimum wage in a pay period by including salary deductions. Second, in some states, the law prohibits salary deductions. And finally, bottom line is, even if you can legally make these deductions, don't do it. Create goodwill for your employees. And if you follow these guidelines, you'll have a much happier staff and a more positive work environment. Wow, that was a giant hand.